So excited that he's here. We're actually using new technology today for our live stream. So if you are here, I want to know in the chat that you are here, and please say hello and let us know where you're tuning in from. We're broadcasting right now on E360 TV, and we're streaming also on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram for the first time, on YouTube, and of course on E360 TV. So if this is your first time here, we would love for you to subscribe to the show. You can also catch us on Roku, Amazon, Apple, Android, I said Amazon Prime. Wait, there's one more that I'm drawing a blank on. Well, anyway, I can't remember. But if you prefer to listen to a podcast, we also take this episode and stream it to our podcast, and that's available on all streaming platforms. And this is a show that you are not going to want to miss. You're going to want to watch this show multiple times because every time Brian is here, it is epic. It is epic. So I am going to bring him on in just a few minutes. Who he is known as the Spellbreaker. He is a multiple best-selling author. He has impacted the lives of hundreds of thousands of people, me being one of them. What we're going to talk about today is how to release childhood trauma in minutes. I know this is so important, and I'm going to share some personal accounts of transformation that have happened to me recently because of working with him. And so if you are you ever feel like stuck, or you try to change habits and you can't, or you have challenges in relationships, you've got a unhealthy relationship with money, your health, so many areas of your life. A lot of this is related to our childhoods and what our beliefs are. And I'm going to let Brian expand on that. No, you're not crazy. No, you're not broken. Actually, you're just running off of a program that he's going to talk about. It's programming, and it's these beliefs that we have. And consciously trying to change them is challenging. And I will tell you, I do a lot of work on this because I am so into all of this. And my goal for myself is to be the best version of me, as if there, is such a thing. But I always want to learn and grow and expand. And so when I met Brian, he changed my life. He's now changed lives of so many people that I know. And hopefully today you're going to get to know him, and he's going to be a part of your world, and he's going to change your life too. So our topic and theme today is release childhood trauma in minutes. And yes, I'm talking minutes. It's great. It's great. All right. Well, every week on this show, we have an intention statement. And our intention statement this week is, I have today to release childhood trauma and remember who I truly am. I have today to release childhood trauma and remember who I truly am. So every single week, our team makes an incredible, beautiful graphic. It's on the screen right now, and there it is. And where you can find this is on my Instagram page at Diane Forster Official. If you go over there, go to my profile, you'll see those buttons, and you see a button that says intention statements. This one is already there. And what I want you to do is take that intention statement, take a screenshot of it, and use it as your screensaver all week. So it's your constant reminder to remember this. And so that's for you there. All right. Well, I don't want to waste any more time. I want to spend as much time with Brian as we possibly can. So we're going to bring him on in just a moment. But first, let's hear a word from our sponsor, the Spifter. This week's episode of I Have Today is brought to you by the Spifter. The Spifter is a fun sifting spoon that makes cooking, baking, and decorating with sugars and spices so much fun. No more mess or wasting your spices. It's fast, clean, and easy. Everything looks and tastes delicious. It's also great for straining loose tea, getting pesky broken cork out of your wine glass, and draining liquid off food like olives and capers. Whether you're a novice cook or a gourmet chef, you'll love the results. The Spifter, the kitchen gadget that no kitchen should be without. Well, aloha, Brian Ridgway.
Aloha. Good morning once again.
Yeah, so good to see you. Welcome back to I Have Today, my friend. So excited
Same.
about it.
I'm glad.
Yeah, me too. Well,
Glad here. I'm getting. I don't know if it's on my end, Diane. I'm getting a fairly consistent drag off of your signal. So if I pause you a couple of times, it's because you're not coming through.
Oh, okay. All right. I don't hear that on my end, but thank you for telling me that. Hopefully the recording's gonna come out well. Fingers
Yeah.
crossed with our new technology. And if it doesn't, hey, we'll have to redo it.
Will live.
Well, I know, Brian, that your work has expanded exponentially over this past year. And before we get into our conversation, what I want to share with our viewers, our audience, is my personal experience with you. Oh, I'm going to cry. I did one of your programs this summer, and then I dove deep into others of your programs. But the first one that I did had such a profound, it was Get the Life That You Want Mastery, right? Is that what it was called? Yes.
Get what you want. Get what you want. Mastery.
Get what
Same
you want
outcome. Yeah.
mastery. Yes. And I really went in deep, and what started to happen, as if there's a deep or shallow or whatever, but I was a willing participant to just go in, be present, be fully immersed in it. If you told me to do something, I did it. You know, I followed along step by step. And what started to change for me was so rapid and so profound that things shifted in me so quickly. I lost 20 pounds. I released 20 pounds. I stopped drinking alcohol for the most part. You know, I was a daily drinker, and now if I have it once a month, that's a lot. But I totally removed that habit I had out of my life. I'm sleeping better than I ever have. I created a new business. I formed a new company. We've been in revenue since day one. We've made more money in this quarter that we've been in business than I did in my other business for an entire year. Just a lot of things are happening. Doors are opening up, and of course there's way more. There's of course way more different relationships and people coming into my life, and I attribute it all to that program and the work that I did with you. So I just wanted to say that right here live and give you that testimony to how powerful you are and how special and unique you are and how amazingly quick your work is. It's really profound.
Amazes me every single day. I like to say that I'm always constantly surprised at how I'm not even surprised anymore. At how I'm constantly surprised. And how it doesn't even surprise me anymore. I'm constantly, and every time I hear anything like what you just shared with me, I'm just like, yep, yep. So great, so grateful, so thrilled. And I'm really grateful to you, Diane. I got to say, not everybody gets in there as ready as you. Now, to be fair, you had looked at my stuff before and kind of, I don't know if I'm ready. When you were ready and you dove in, there it is.
Yes. Because I've had experiences with you. Like, this is the 5th time you are on our show. And I remember our very first show, just getting to know and being introduced to you, at that you sent me your book, Break Your Self-Help Addiction. And I devoured that book and said, wow, this is different than anything else that I've read out there. And I've done, like you, a lot of self-help and personal development. And then the next episode, you actually did a spell break on air with me. And then I think you did another one with me. And then last time you were on, I think our focus was on the 5 lessons from hell. So, so Give a little snapshot for anyone who's watching or listening who's maybe never heard of you before. A little bit about you.
Okay, a little snapshot. Well, I'm weird. And if you look up the word weird, you'll find out that that's just one more of the areas where we've been lied to, because we thought weird meant that's weird. No, weird has to do with outside the norm. It can be very favorable. It's not a bad thing. And for me, weird is absolutely wonderful. The norm is what sucks. And so I have two stories. Like, if I put it in a nutshell, I'm getting better and better at doing it faster and faster. I've done it so many times. My two stories are: number one, I was born to a man who was full of anger and a woman who was full of pain, which I created in its entirety, my entire existence. I lived in a house where there was no religion or spirituality. I thought God's last name was Damn. And there
Mm.
was anger and sadness and misery. And I was physically, mentally, and or emotionally beaten every day for the first 17 years of life. And I have no sadness. I have no regret. I wouldn't change a thing. It is totally what I created for my evolution so I could be where I am now. I wouldn't change a thing. And however, it did suck. And I was programmed with a self-image of stupid, ugly, worthless piece of shit. This is what I was told and programmed and beaten into me every day for those 17 years until I, quote, escaped. And I thought when I escaped, life was going to be better. But I left with the self-image and the identity: stupid, ugly, worthless piece of shit who never gets it right. His big mouth is only going to get him in trouble. And I lived that, and I created hell for many, many, many years. Got into self-help, 30 plus years, $300,000 invested, tens of thousands of hours working on myself. And my life got worse and worse and worse because stupid, ugly, worthless piece of shit. You and anyone hearing me right now could pause and say, wow, I wonder what mine was. So what you believe about yourself is how you're going to reflect in what you think is a universe. We can talk more about that. The second story is that around 3, as soon as I could really talk, I had the ability to communicate with people, look at them, listen to them, see what their problems were, what their challenges, see how they were creating it, and actually tell them how to change it. So I have the strange awareness that I'm on the planet doing what I'm on the planet to do. And I've been able to do it since I was a very small child. And about 13 years ago, those two stories come together. I had an awakening experience at the lowest point. I'd been suicidal on and off for decades after 30 plus years of self-help journey. And I had this awakening experience where I literally saw exactly how I'm creating my universe. So the 3 key spiritual statements: everything is energy, you create your reality, and all is one. They went from being metaphysical ideas to being my daily reality. I woke up to what's going on, and since then, I started a entity called Level 5 Mentoring, and we're over 250,000 people now that we've been able to touch. We're just barely getting started, and now I get to talk to you, Diane, again, and whoever lovely people are listening today. So
That's so good. Okay, say the 3 things that came together again. It was
okay, yeah.
everything
So
was
the 2 stories that came together were this gift that
yeah.
I've had all my life, and all that self-help in the 2 stories I told. The 3 lines, I consider these like the 3 key spiritual. There's probably a word I might not say on this broadcast, but I have a term of endearment for people who walk this way, where they have the mental awareness of these things and they're not finding themselves able to live it. 1, you create your reality. 2, everything is energy. And 3, all is one. All the spiritual F's that I know, and I was the king of them for quite a while, they all walk around saying everything's energy and all is one, and you create your reality. But when it
Yep.
comes to actually living it in the moment, there's a disconnect for the vast majority of people. And so what I do is I help people, as it came to me, I help people to bridge to where they're living. I'm actually creating my reality, and I know how to make it start to move in the way that I want. Everything is energy. I can sense it. I can work with it. All is one. There is no victim perpetrator shit going on here. I'm creating all of, because see, I'll take one liberty here, and then you go into your questions. So there's those three phrases. This one about I create my reality, and all is one. Well, if you're walking through your life saying, yeah, I create my reality, well, but not that. I create my reality, but there's things outside of your control. I create my reality, but then there's those evil people over there. Then you're not walking it, and you're not meaning what you're saying. And everything changes when you get that.
It is so true. And you live this, you embody this. You said it at the beginning with your story. You were saying, with your parents and the upbringing, I created it. Right? And if more people would, and you know what, I don't want to get into, well, does, so and so ask for, to be blind? Does so and so ask, I don't want to get into all of that. I believe this wholeheartedly as well. And I'm that was a part of what happened for me in your work. Was really, I really saw how much I created. Really, I got it on a much deeper level. And it's so powerful. And a big thing that shifted, because we're going to get deeper into this, and of course we're getting into childhood trauma, which is where I'm segueing this right now. One of the biggest things where I said this show is release childhood trauma in minutes was an experience I had this summer. And me, I'm open book on here. I'm very transparent. I think people need to see this. Was while doing the coursework, I was in my office just a day or two after, going through one of the lessons. And I had this overwhelming memory come back. I was about 10 years old, and I'm sitting at the kitchen table, and my parents were having a party. We had the party house. We were always, at every holiday in the summer, we had a built-in swimming pool. The family, the friends, the cousins, the neighbors, everybody was always at our house. And it was always, drinking and smoking and dancing and swimming and taking clothes off, and just wild. And I remember this moment vividly. I was sitting at the kitchen table with all the kids. We had coloring books, paper, crayons, markers, and we're, being kids, right? And I made myself this toy cigarette. Like, I took a white piece of paper, rolled it up, colored the tip, the filter end, colored the other end, like gray and orange and red. And I was holding it, and I had this thing drop in, like, oh my God, I need to drink and smoke in order for my parents to love me. It wasn't even like a traumatic experience, but it was this, oh my God, revelation. And the emotions that came up and out of me for like 10, 15 minutes, I was wailing, crying. It was just coming up. And it was like a switch, like that. The drinking stopped, just like that. Amazing experience. Now,
well, let me cut in with one thing, because I'm going to say that was an absolutely traumatic experience. Our definition of trauma, we would be well served to expand our definition of trauma to really get more of an understanding. In the conclusion, I'm not already unconditionally loved by these people. I have to do something, change something. If I have to do something to get it, it ain't love I get. And as a little child, even as a child, you are what you didn't want to get into a minute ago about why would someone create that? Because that child is the creator of the universe. There's no victims here. It's a very diluted game that virtually everyone's playing in that realm. So I'm telling you that it was you knew unconditional love. You were unconditional love. You knew your parents were unconditional love. And the fact that there was something in them, there was something twisted in them to where they couldn't unconditionally love you, and that you were going to have to do anything to get their love, what could be more traumatic?
So true. So true. Wow. So good. Yeah, and, and I grew up in a house where my father didn't say the words "I love you" to me, and I honestly don't really remember my mother saying it. I know she definitely said it, but there wasn't they loved each other, but there wasn't, intimate romantic love. It was never demonstrated. And like I said, my father never said the words "I love you" to me until I was 24 years old. And I remember that moment vividly. So of course, yeah, I guess that was what I was feeling.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I wanted to share that. And what I wanted to share even more, but the real story. And if you're listening to this and watching this, and this you can relate to that kind of trauma, Brian, walk through what starts to happen for people when they work with you.
Okay, well, to do that, I got to take one step back to the paradigm that I operate from. So I'll do like a blast here real quick. Your paradigm is the lens through which you view the world. So you are here in your present moment. Each of you, if you hear my voice, I'm talking only to you right now. You're here in this moment with a paradigm, whether you know it or not. Now, if you imagine a fish looking for water, it's kind of like looking for your paradigm is kind of like that, because you've been in it so long. It's like, what are you talking about? There's no paradigm here. It's that close to you, and it requires, and you will benefit from a little bit of step back and look. What are some things I believe? What are the fundamentals I believe? If I were to say, what are the topics of life that matter? You ask different people, you'll get different topics. What are my topics that matter? You are now beginning to draw a map of all the things that you think and believe that you know. Even the topics that you think and believe exist. None of those exist that's your paradigm. Then what do you think matters? What do you believe about men? What do you believe about women? What do you believe about sex? What do you believe about genders? What do you believe about money and abundance and all these other things? What do you believe about intimacy? What do you believe about relationships? What do you believe about science versus this or that? All of this, the sum of everything you think and believe that you know, all comes together. All the thoughts, all the beliefs, all the ideas and concepts and decisions and rules and paradigms come together in this master paradigm of what you believe you are and what you believe the universe is. And that is really where it starts. The fact that you believe there is a you and the universe. Now, something that if you don't accept this next possibility that I'm about to say, nothing else I say is going to make sense to you. You don't have to believe what I'm about to say at all, but if you are willing to entertain it, you'll be in the doorway of stepping into your power and your freedom. You believe that there is a distinction between you and the universe, that there is a you and there's a universe, and that's not true. But being that you are the creator of your universe, you're the creator of what you think you are, and you're the creator of what you think the universe is, and you're the creator of the illusion that there's a separation between you and the universe. And so being the infinitely powerful creator that you are, whatever you believe is true for you, and you will manifest infinite evidence and proof of whatever you believe. Now, to further complicate it so that you don't step into your power, because if there's one thing you don't want to do is step into your power, because you're going to get your ass kicked if you step into your power. You're going to get in trouble. You're going to get rejected. You're going to get your teeth kicked in. You're going to be kicked out. You're going to be expelled from the village. That you're going to be put on the cross or burned at the stake if you step into your power. So you will do anything in the world to not admit your power. But there it is, manifesting as what you perceive to be you in the universe. So what I'm getting to is that even the you that you experience and the universe that you experience and the illusion that they're two separate things is your infinite power showing up as what you believe. You shift the roots of what you know to be true, and you retrieve your power from it, and you can remake it into anything else. Something to make this really bring it down to the meat here, immediately usable. What you said, Diane, when you said, I lost weight, I release weight. I go one step even further than that. I say I reclaimed my energy that I had put into that weight, and I reclaimed it, returned it to myself, and now I'm aiming it into things I prefer more. So that's a deep enough start. Now from there, you can probably rein me in and direct me with some other questions, but that's, yeah.
No, it's good.
What you asked was, so what happens when I work with someone? So what happens when I work with someone? Now you have that paradigm that I'm offering. What happens when someone comes to me? I know a couple things about them. Number one, if someone comes to me, I know they're actually ready to be done with the self-help hamster wheel, and they're actually, to some extent, ready to be done with their suffering, or they wouldn't have found me. Since you're the creator of your reality, you created me to show up for you when you were ready, to have me reflect a different mirror to you than everybody else around you. And so what I do is, I don't reflect your bullshit back to you. I don't reflect your programming back to you. I don't reflect what you think is wrong with you, messed up with you, your faults. I see you as a perfect, infinite, unlimited, eternal creator being who is in a nightmare, having forgotten that you.
Okay, well, Brian froze up. So we're going to give this 1 second to see if he's able to get back in. I'm not sure if he knows that he's frozen. So, all right. Well, I hope that you're finding this fascinating, and this is live TV. So I'm going to keep going because what he's saying is so powerful. And the 3 key spiritual, truths are: you do create your own reality. Everything is energy and all is one. So if you're creating your reality, and if you're not happy with the reality that you're in, then okay, he's going to hop off and hop back on. So if you're creating your reality and you're not happy with your current reality, the questions have to be facing inward. What am I doing that's creating this? And how do I want to change this? What would I prefer to have instead? In fact, that's exactly what Brian would say. Brian would say, how is this me? How is this for me? And what do I prefer to experience instead? That was a lot of the work that I did. And it's so true, because everything that's happening in our lives is a result of what we're attracting and what we're creating. So here's a real life example. I was in a hit and run accident on a couple days ago. And I got rear-ended really badly. And fortunately, the airbags didn't deploy, and the car is damaged, but it was drivable. But it was shocking. And I 100% know that I created that. And normally you would say, how could you say that, Diane? If you I didn't see it coming, which number one is a blessing. Thank God I didn't see it coming, because if I had seen it coming, obviously I would have tensed up and I probably would have gotten hurt, right? So that's the first thing. So I didn't see it coming, but I know that that was for me. Even if I don't know all the reasons why or how yet that's for me, I know that experience was for me. I know that I created that experience. It wasn't that I was doing anything wrong. It wasn't like I wasn't paying attention to the road. Like, obviously it came from behind. So the question I was asking to myself, and I was contemplating on it, and I was thinking about it, and I was meditating on it and channeling on it, all right, this was for me. So what is it? And so all of these scenarios are going on in my mind, and I'm thinking about it. And I thought, well, I told my son last time I saw him, I think I might be getting a new car. I don't know why, maybe I'll give you my car. And he's like, well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And maybe that was it. Maybe this is the path to life circumstances that are going to unfold in some miraculous way that's going to make a change in that area. I don't know. Okay. What I'm hearing is that I need to try and hop off and hop back on. I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. Oh, no, I think she's talking to Brian. All right. Well, I'm going to keep going. So thank you. Bear with us as we deal with our technology issues, right? So think about that in your life. How many times have things happened that maybe you thought weren't your fault? Maybe you got cheated on, or you got fired from a job, or you got in an accident like I did, just different things. You broke your leg skiing or whatever it is. How those things are actually you creating them. And sometimes when we're creating them obviously to cover up pain, right? There's something deeper going on. There's something more going on. And for me, like drinking wine every day was something I created, a habit I created to numb my pain of feeling unworthy. So that's just one example of it, but start to think about this. So the other thing is everything is energy. Everything really is energy. You are all energy. We all are. If you looked at us under a microscope, if you looked at my microphone in front of me, in front of a microscope, or my book sitting over here, you would see the particles moving. Everything is energy, has a vibration and frequency and a resonance to it, especially and including us. And so you are magnetically attracting everything that's showing up in your life, whether you're doing it consciously or unconsciously. And mostly it's unconsciously, because it is the paradigm that's running through your mind. When Brian said it's like a fish, looking for water because they're in it, this is your version of normal. Right? You're normal. This is just the way I am. This is just the way it is. Right? And it's your perception of what that is. But those are beliefs that you were handed down. Somebody else gave you that belief because when you came into this experience, you didn't have those. So anyway, everything is energy, and you are creating your reality, and all is one, which I love. I love this so much because what I just said, how is this me? How is this for me? And what do I prefer instead? And I got this direct from Brian. This is straight from Brian. So if you're thinking, speaking, feeling a negative way about another person, you want to ask yourself, well, where is that in me? If you're judging somebody, then you got to be thinking, where is that? Where am I judging myself? So, all right. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this up, and we're going to try this broadcast all over again, because I don't want you all to miss out on Brian. He says this way more eloquently than I do. But before I wrap this up, let me just say thank you so much for being here. I'm going to have Brian back on either in just a few minutes, so that we'll do this as a 2-part episode, or I will have him back again soon. And hey, you know what? Somehow, some way, I created this. So this is Diane Forster. Make sure you're following me at dianeforster.com, on social media, Diane Forster Official. Our TV show, where you can find it, is I Have Today with Diane Forster. And I will see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.